Hey everybody out there, Chris and Mike here, and welcome back to another indie comic book review. In this review, we will be reviewing books that were released on May 7th, 2014, the first week of May. We have 3 physical copies, one being a free comic book day book, and 9 digital copies, one being a book that did not come out this week, and there is a 10th honorable mention book, or guilty pleasure mention book. But before we get into the books that were released this week, let's go into the book that was not released this week. Continuing our Argo Comics run, we have Argo Comics Anthology issue number 1. That's right, guys, a new series from Argo Comics Dan has shared with us. I believe this is one of the final series from Argo Comics, if I'm not mistaken. If not, there will be more.
Yeah,
so
and this is a whole new superhero team, actually.
2 superhero teams.
I mean, 2 superhero teams.
We have the silver unit and the gold unit, and we also get a little bit of Teen Machine in between.
That is true.
So this book, oh god, what's the word I'm looking for? Focuses around 2 separate teams in 2 separate stories. The first team is, I believe it was Gold Unit. I want to make sure I'm right. Yes, first team is Gold Unit, and Gold Unit is Cosmos, Miss Meteor, Titan, who's one of my favorite characters in this run, in this story, Night Ranger, and Deerwolf. I'm probably saying this wrong. And each one is from a different part of the world. Anyway, and basically the gist of the first story is they are fighting a griffin monster.
Right.
And basically that's the whole first story, at least, is them fighting griffin. Action-packed, really good, amazing teamwork by the team. Like I said, Titan is one of my favorite characters in this first story. In the very beginning, we have Night Ranger talking with Rama, and Rama's part of Silver Unit, and it actually connects to the or the third story, I should say, this third story, but that's left for the end of the book. This story, like I said, it just focuses on Gold Team versus a Griffin.
And then it goes into the other team of Teen Machine.
Yeah, after they beat the Griffin, we have Night Ranger who says, now the question is, where does a Griffin mixed with a dragon come from? To the end? Question mark. So we have a Griffin mixed with a dragon. That's the first story. Then we have Teen Machine, which I feel is more of a divide story. It's a little bit of a break from what the main story is, and it's kind of a little bit humorous.
Yeah,
and I liked it.
The team is helping Melvin X this girl. Like Melvin wants to X this girl Renee out to the prom.
And he's a nerd. He's a bit of a nerd.
Yeah, he's a bit of a nerd and everything.
He misses the bus. They help him there. He gets threatened by bullies. They help him there. And then in the end, he goes he goes to the prom with Renee, and it's a bit of a happy ending.
Yeah.
In the end. Now back to the story. Now we're with Silver Team, and Silver Team consists of Avatar, Thermesura, I hope I'm saying her name right.
That's how you say it.
Rama, Thunderlord, and Melee. And the monster they're fighting is a mix between a Medusa monster and Cerberus. Cerberus is the 3-headed dog. And basically, he's turning everybody into stone. He actually ends up turning, what's his name into stone? Melee into stone. And the rest of the whole rest of the this story is them fighting the monster, finding a way to put him down once and for all. There's a wee bit of a connection to something else. I'm not going to spoil that. But in the end, Silver Team wins. But in the end, it's mentioned. That's enough for today. But we are now left with an unknown origin of this, Medusa and Cerberus hybrid. The end. ... For now. So will this be reached out to again? We'll have to wait and find out. But I found this really cool, action-packed. Both teams were action-packed.
Yeah,
I liked
the artwork.
However, I'm more of a fan of the Gold Team. I'm a fan of. I like Titan, and I like the way Gold Team is. Silver Team was good too, but like I said, if you have to pick a team, I like Gold. What about you?
I would absolutely say really both teams. I mean, it's very action-packed. The artwork's, like I said, fantastic. And the pinups at the end of the comics are here also.
And they also give you a rundown of the team, yeah.
Right. But all in all, like I read this book, and I really have to say I really enjoyed it. I mean, 3 stories in one book. I mean, you know,
Even though one was a break, but
well,
still,
one was
no,
great,
it was
but
good.
still, it was straightforward and it was very action packed.
I would definitely say 4.5 out of 5 stars.
Yeah, between 4.5 out of 5.
I would say 4.5 out of 5 stars. I really
All right,
liked it.
well, then think another 4.5. Yeah, I kind of think that.
And if you guys are interested in checking this comic out, you can go to argocomics.com. That's ARGO comics.com. It is Argo Comics Anthology. It is a $4.99 book. It's a first issue, and it's really awesome. I cannot recommend this book enough.
It's recommended, definitely.
I only take a half star away because we need more story. Dan, make the books bigger. Bigger, Dan, bigger. No, he'll kill me. He's writing enough as is already. Poor man, he has so much he's writing right now. I can't wait for the next issue of Argo 5, I tell you what. But beside the point, the anthology first issue was amazing. Definitely something to look into. I like it. It's its own little stories. Each book, I believe, has different stories. Dan, if I'm wrong, please do correct me. I know we had Argo Comics Anthology issue 6, I believe, and that was, he gave it to me to give the background story of a team that was in Argo 5. I believe it was issue 4 or 5. I'm not sure which issue, but he did give me Anthology issue 6, which gave us, I think each Argo Anthology
because it gave us a reference to what happened in the previous issues.
About this boy who had the team.
Who had the medallion of...
Merlin.
Merlin, yeah. I was thinking of the name and it just... Merlin from Sword and Stone.
Either way, cannot recommend this series enough. Definitely check it out. You can check out all the comics we just mentioned. We just mentioned Anthology. Mike's been reading Sorority of Power, and I love Argo 5. So those are definitely some books you should check out, and those are all at argocomics.com. So now we are officially in the week of May 7th. Yes. Mike, do you want to start with the free comic book day book that came out on May 5th? I believe May 5th. Was it May 5th? That was Saturday? No, it was May 3rd. I apologize.
May 3rd, yes. Alright, just to throw it out there from Free Comic Book Day, there's Project Black Sky featuring Captain Midnight and Brain Boy, right here. And since I've been reading about Captain Midnight, I thought of giving it a shot, actually.
Well, I got all the Free Comic Book Day books. Next year I won't, but this year at least I did.
And really what this story focuses on is, you know, the story about, you know, Brain Boy and... you know, him and Captain Midnight and all that stuff right here. It all works like really realistic. And there's a mission that Captain Midnight goes on, and you know, there's like a whole big thing that's going on in the city, and you know, like they say, how they fight each other in the beginning, and then they work out as a team. And I like this part here, like where they do, the monkeys do like these sign languages and stuff to understand, and it actually, you know, gives you that and stuff like that. Because basically they're just saying that, you know, about Black Sky and how
I think
science
that's sign
was bad.
language. Isn't that sign language?
Yeah, sign language. Yeah, but that's what the monkeys are using, sign language. And they're saying how science is bad and everything. I mean, I don't want to give really too much away because you've definitely got to read the book. There's like a little bit of a hallucination that happens after, you know, the army comes in and stuff. And the artwork's just really amazing. And it's to be continued Captain Midnight and Brain Boy after the President of the United States has a talk about that there's a war that's coming and they are going to need heroes that are going to need to be involved, which is mainly...
So it's going to be continued in Captain Midnight.
And Brain Boy. It's going to be continued there. But I just thought I'd throw it out as a freebie there, so if you want to...
Well, that came out on Free Comic Book Day.
Yeah. From Vertigo Comics, oh yeah, this was Dark Horse, by the way, for Free Comic Book Day. For Vertigo, Hinterkind, with a new storyline, issue number 7. And... for a new storyline, like, I actually really do agree. Like, it talks about how the, I think Dr. Monday's name is, how he's still with Starla and the others, and there are these men over here who are going after Starla and the rest, and we don't know who they are. Like basically, they're centaurs. I think they said of who they are.
I think that's what they are.
Yeah, because that's what they said that they were. And Stahl is like hurt really bad, and the doctor wants to help them. So, like Stahl is actually trusting him on this one. And meanwhile, John and Prosper have a little talk scene with each other of stuff that's been going on. And John's like he's like one of those characters like you really want to slap him sometimes. And then gets into John's past, like this one right here, and I thought that was pretty interesting, of talking about his past. It goes into Teresa and the mother who are talking with each other. If you want to know what that's about, definitely read the book. But basically, what happened in the last issue, and her brother actually comes in. I didn't know that she had a brother, actually, Teresa. So there's definitely some stuff there. Meanwhile, John takes care of Prosper, who is not really feeling so well, and it's like just a little bit of a story that he talks about of the old days and stuff like that. And let's just say they run into a little bit of trouble.
Little bit, you say?
Well, it could mean trouble or make that double or triple or something. But for a new storyline, I don't want to give too much away. I like how they set up the new storyline, and I really enjoyed this. So definitely check out Hinterkainen if you haven't. This is jump on friendly, so I'd say start on issue 7. And if you haven't seen 1 through 6, you really should definitely check that out for yourselves and let me know what you think.
The Wake, issue number 8. This is definitely the weakest of the entire series thus far. Practically no action and lots of what we all know makes the book boring.
Really?
Dialogue.
So it's more talky.
It's way more talky. So it turns out that one of the gigantic mer people, it's a submarine, and it's piloted by these mutant pirate people who, there's a reference to the first 5 issues, who followed Meeks and knew about Lee, what's her name, the doctor, Lee
Archer.
Lee Archer, thank you. The captain, I want to make sure I got his name right, the general, I'm sorry, was actually poisoned by one of the mer people, and he's kind of having, I don't want to show a naked woman, but he's having little, is this good? Yeah. Visions, so to speak. And Madam President, I hate that woman so much. So anyway, they believe that Leeward is right about the broadcast. She has coordinates. The Dolphin has the coordinates. And after a bunch of bullshit and stories about one thing or another, I mean, there's definitely some highly in-depth dialogue at times. Here's one page of really big in-depth stuff. Basically, the pirates end up helping Leeward follow the transmission, the end. That's the long and short of it. I was really... it felt like the book wasn't ending when I started reading it. It wasn't horrible. I'm finishing The Wake, and I'm sure this is just one of those books where they had to tell a little bit of something, and next issue I'm almost sure will pick up. I mean, the action did start to pick up by the very end of this issue, so there's still hope for action to pick up once again. But in all, this is kind of, I believe it's the weakest issue of the series. Things can only go up from here again. So there's 2 more issues to go. I'm sure things will be really huge by the time they end this series. But that's it for the physical copies. Now, digitally, I wanted to mention Garfield issue number 25. My guilty pleasure. It is a special size 25th celebration issue. I believe it was, I forgot how much it was. It was, maybe it's in the back of the book. Let me just check. But I love the artwork for the first story. Once again, the second story just.
Oh, again with that art.
Yeah, and then there's a couple of post-ups, which were the post-up was kind of a little weird, and no, I can't find it. It's not there. But I believe it's a $5.99 book.
I like that page. That's fun.
But it was a nice story, and once again, it is my guilty pleasure. I just wanted to mention it. For those of you Garfield fans, definitely check it out. If you're not a Garfield fan, you won't. It's a little bit higher than usual, but worth the money once again because it is a 25th celebration. Now, before we leave Boom, I got this book to check out, and it's called The Woods, issue number 1. Well, what did you think, Mike?
The Woods is a real huge horror story. Like, talks about, well, first of all, it takes place in a high school, and they are in the forest, but that's like what happened, before that. So in high school, it's like every normal, everyday thing, where people say, hey, and, they act all weird and stuff like that. But then this guy, oh wait, go up. No, the guy before that, the page. His name, Adrian, yeah. Adrian Routh definitely plays a main character in this story, and they hear this big rumble in the school, and we don't know what's going on. And they meet this tree stump at first, which then turns into bats because there are 2 moons that are in the sky, and they're demonic bats. And then there's these people who are taken to different locations, and I can't remember the names because my brother just keeps turning pages.
Oh, well, excuse me.
The artwork's dark. It is really, really dark, but it fits the situation. And these demons are just, attacked one person who,
Not a sad end.
It was a sad ending, though. So now Adrian says, look, we have to go into the forest, and we gotta just find out, what's going on and everything. And the girl that comes in saying, that we shouldn't go out there because it's bad, and there are these people out there that are, one of us is gonna get killed and stuff like that. So they go prepared into the forest, and what they see is to be continued in the next story or the next issue.
Looks like the top of an
but
alien
oh
ship.
my god, it was so dark and so supernaturalistic, which is what I like, about comic books, some supernatural stuff. But really, guys, you have definitely got to check that out. I mean, for first issue, it was really great stuff.
All right, so Mike, I grabbed the Lone Ranger issue number 24. I believe it's a new story arc. How was it?
Yes. So basically, the Lone Ranger, when I read this story, he was after this guy who was on the train. Like there were these 2 guys who were going to shoot each other, and the Lone Ranger's saying look, let's just put our guns down and let's just
Is that Tonto?
I think that was Tonto. And then he's saying, let's just, calm down and everything. And then they didn't want to put the gun down because they thought it was just a hoax or something. Or, all that other stuff. And then there was this other guy that came in that Token actually was fighting. I don't think they had a name. But basically they had a fight scene, and the artwork was really amazing and very action-packed and stuff. So Lone Ranger, he sells the situation by, shooting, not killing them, just shooting.
Shooting the guns out of their hand.
Yeah, just shooting the guns out of their hand because they wouldn't put it down. But the fight scene between Tonto and the other guy was a really close fight, and it really left off at a great part. There was a huge dialogue between the both of them that was really interesting to read about. I just don't want to give too much away because definitely something you guys should absolutely look into.
Nice little train story, actually.
Yeah, I mean, it all takes place on the train, with the fight scenes and all the other parts that are in the story.
Now, I tried to read this book, and I couldn't finish it.
I tried to.
Chaos number 1, what did you think?
Okay. Is it just me, or... Now...
already when he says that means bad. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. I was reading this story, and it was at first creepy.
Has Evil Ernie in it.
Yeah, it does have an evil learning in it. But then, as I was reading more and more, now unlike The Woods that was dark and supernaturalistic, in this case, I couldn't really like the story. I wanted to, and I tried to like the story, but it was just not grabbing my interest. Like,
I don't blame you. I didn't even make it to the end.
Yeah, it was really about this girl who they saw that was like not being herself and everything. And then there's this other guy who was a main character that could turn into a werewolf, you know, when there's a full moon and everything, because we all know the story about that. And they want to find some answers to stuff like that. And the girl who they thought was, you know, had something wrong with her, you know, like she was involved in it in some way. And it was
so in other words, no.
I wouldn't suggest it.
All right, we're gonna go into dark.
I tried though, but no.
Okay. We're gonna go into Dark Horse for my two books. Angel and Faith, season 10, issue number 2. Angel is in London, still fighting Rory and his pixies, and Faith joins. She leaves Buffy and Giles, and she joins. I want to make sure I get the name of this company right. She joins the Deep Scan, which are the people that was fighting with Buffy. Because she didn't feel like she belonged with Buffy, and she didn't feel like she belonged with Angel. Why?
I just felt bad when that girl had a lot of paperwork.
Yeah, she had to fill out a lot of paperwork. And Buffy, and not Buffy, and Angel comes face to face with an old antagonist of his, Nadira.
Yeah, Nadira. And
apparently now she's good. Or in some, as he said, twisted way, things worked out for her, and now she's on Angel's side. She warns Angel. She gives Angel some prolific advice, so to speak. And she's helping a bunch of people out in Magic Town now. And like I said, she gives him some prolific stuff because he's going after Rory. Angel goes back to the bar looking for Rory, gets a little bit of information, and Faith gets her first assignment, actually, also.
Right.
Angel gets into this huge fight with this gigantic boar-like beast. I don't know. But it's somebody who works for Rory. And Faith's job is to watch this rocker kid who's...
Oh, yeah. In the end,
he's a little bit too full of himself.
Yeah, and when he was with the daughter who was...
underage,
this guy, it was underage, and it was his daughter.
And then Angel gets into this conversation with this guy who believes he's the one that it's his streets. Basically, I forgot who he works for. Do you remember?
I'm trying.
He works for
He works for a group.
Yeah, and he doesn't like that Angel's moving in on his turf, so to speak.
It just talks about his the guy who they are going after, like how his life was, and you know, it was all about crime and just stealing stuff, basically, from people.
He doesn't like that the streets are being claimed for somebody else. Yeah, whatever.
Exactly, that's what I meant.
And then anyway, we find out something about our rocker friend later on and why Faith was actually put in charge of protecting or being around him. Mm-hmm. Not protecting him, just being around him. And yeah, I'm leaving that for next time, but it's nice. I'm more interested in what's going on with Angel than with Faith, but you know at some point Angel and Faith are going to get back together. I mean, the book is called Angel and Faith, so she's going to come back at some point. Maybe not this season.
Well, why would they
maybe towards the end of the season?
They weren't called Angel and Faith. I mean, they could have just called it just Angel if they weren't going to get together.
Well, I like Angel's part. I want to see how he's going to deal with Rory and what's going on with Nadira. Lots of interesting stuff on Angel's end. As far as Faith's end, it's going to be interesting to see how she ends up back with Angel.
Right.
So finally now we have from, not finally in general, for me, from Dark Horse, Terminator Salvation, The Final Battle, issue 6 of 12. In the last issue, Kyle Reese went through the time portal. In the beginning of this issue, however, John Connor's reprogramming the Terminator from Terminator 2 and sending him back in time to protect himself as a child. Now, the thing in this book is John Connor, up until that point, knows that the war was going on. After the Terminator was sent back in Terminator 2, they don't know what happened next because nothing was sent back since then. So basically now, from here on, John Connor has no idea what's going to happen, whether they're going to win, whether they're going to lose, or what. And, of course, what's his name is still Parnell.
Yeah, Parnell.
Is still running all the Terminators. And he's sick, he's twisted, he's crazy. And Dr. Kogan warned Skynet that it was a bad idea giving him so much control. And he actually threatens Dr. Kogan to kill. He threatens to kill her if she doesn't give him, if she doesn't unlock him, or I forgot, there was like a code or something that's allowing him to gain control slowly, like a block.
Yeah,
and he wants the code to unblock it.
Yeah, and she was talking about, you know, if you give them too much control, then they think that they're...
It's going to basically, he's going to destroy the humans, and then he's going to destroy Skynet and become the one that leads everything. So she unlocks it, but then has a failsafe behind that, and locks him up again. But now he has 68% of the Terminators under his control. So in the end, she warns Skynet and tells Skynet, either you do, they have a protocol, what was it? To send the signal for beta? Option beta. And Skynet obviously confirms, and it turns out something's going to be going on with Marcus Wright. So now we don't know what's going to happen next, because there's no... This was it. After the second Terminator, after the Terminator was sent back to protect John Connor. But I remember in Terminator 3, there was another Terminator sent back to protect John Connor again. So I'm surprised that they didn't reference Terminator 3, unless they are going to kill John Connor at some point. And that's when the Terminator from Terminator 3 is going to be sent forward. Unless John Connor... But I don't know.
There are so many ways it can go in this book.
But this is the halfway point.
Yeah, and it's a comic book, really.
So the first 6 issues were known history for Terminator. Now the last 6 issues are going to be all brand new, and we're not going to know whether the humans are going to survive, whether Skynet's going to beat them, what's going to happen with Parnell, what's going to happen with John Connor, nothing. So from here on out, the future is blank. They don't know what's going to happen next, and neither do we. So I'm really looking forward to what's going to happen next in Terminator Salvation, the final battle, starting with next. I've been loving it, but now I'm really looking forward to what's going to happen in the following issues. And guys, give us just 1 second, and then we will continue with the last 2 books for this week. Alright, continuing on, we have Rocky and Bullwinkle, issue number 6. This is something you're enjoying reading. So how do you like Rocky and Bullwinkle, issue number 6?
Rocky and Bullwinkle, I mean, the cartoon, like, it reminds me of the cartoons, like, you know, like the voice and stuff like that. Basically, there's this thing that's going on with the moon where we know that Neil Armstrong was the first one that went on the moon. But now they were making a fake thing that the other person who went to the moon, stop going so fast please, was
it's in there.
Transalien, I think, or Transalien. Yeah, like they said it like right there. The guy who planted the flag.
Jones Soda, everybody.
Yes, the guy who planted the flag, Transalien, was on the set, and you know, like they wanted to actually think that it was a little bit different. So Boris and Natasha, you know, the people who want to kill Rocky and Bullwinkle, literally, well, destroy them, literally. They want to go to the moon themselves to do that, and Rocky and Bullwinkle both want to stop them from that happening, because if the Transylvanians took over the moon, like, they would have to pay if they talked about anything moon references and stuff like that. Basically, life on Earth and humanity would be pretty much doomed. And that goes into a Dudley Do-Right story after a little bit of a break scene to the book. And it's really funny how the guy asks him to bring the money to the bank, and then he gives him these, what was it that he gave him?
Straighteners? Yoga straighteners.
Yeah, yoga straighteners. And he's like saying, you know, with all that money you could get one of the other. So then he's like saying that he wanted a refund because of what the sign said. So he gets even more money, and he has to do it because that's what the law says. So the more money he gets, he just takes the whole thing and You know, and I just thought that was pretty funny. I mean, Dudley Do-Right, he's so stupid, but in some parts he was actually smart in this one. So we go back to the Adventures of Rocky and Bullwinkle, where Natasha and Boris are on their way to the moon, and Rocky and Bullwinkle are there too. And they have friends of theirs that are from the moon that he talks to, and they explain about the situation.
Gidney and Cloyd.
What's going on? Yeah, Gidney and Cloyd. Thank you. I was trying to remember the name. So, wait, go up. I'm just trying to find out if it's Transylvanians or something. It's all with the letter T, I know that, when they were going on the moon. So, yeah, so, there's a thing where, they just want to, stop them in every way, and it's a little bit hard because, you know, of, what's, you know, the Earth's gravity and everything, and, you know, they're trying, and then, they're filming, the flag where it has Boris's face on it, so that way, when he planted it there, it would be under his control. Where?
Pennsylvania.
Oh, Pennsylvania. Well, close enough, but you know, man. I mean, I'm not good with names, but yeah. But they were gonna do that, so Rocky and Bullwinkle successfully stopped them, and their friends give them a souvenir of moon rocks as a thank you for saving the moon and everything. So, I'm telling you, Boris and Natasha, they try so many ways to either destroy Rocky and Bullwinkle but in this one, it was basically to do for themselves without them interfering with their plans, and it's just really something for a kid's book to read. I mean, I would definitely recommend Rocky and Bullwinkle. I mean, the Adventures is really amazing.
So tell me, Mike, The Crow Pestilence, issue number 3, how was that?
Yeah, let's show the cover. And The Crow Pestilence, not that bad really. When I was reading the story, like they were talking about the Crow at first, like, you know, what was happening from what we saw in the last issue, and he's still going after those people that
killed him and his wife.
That killed him and his wife, you know, years ago. But he's actually going after more of the other gangs. And there was this other guy who was there that was, and, you know, brought women to them and stuff like that. And that's where actually the Crow came in to finish off the other gang who was also behind it. So, I mean, the comics, I mean, the artwork's like really bloody everywhere. Like, there's just blood almost every single page. Like, it's very, very graphic. And for adult readers, by the way. So, he goes after them, and they're trying to kill the Crow, but, you know, they're saying, like, you know, you can't kill me and everything. And then there's this guy, Santa Muerte, yeah.
That's Death.
Yeah, Death. Well, that's what the guy referred to him. Who comes in to fight Crow. And,
yeah, because Death wants to reclaim him. He's supposed to be dead.
Right, and it was a really interesting fight scene that they have. And like he said, he's here to claim, you know, of the Crow. So then afterwards, one of the guys actually gets him, saying that, hey, you know that guy that we dealt with years ago? Well, I have him. And the guy says to prove it to him to bring his body dead or alive. And he does do that. But, oh my god, like, it just leads into, it's going to lead into something, well, it's to be concluded in next month's The Crow. So I guess
it's a miniseries.
Yeah, so I guess they're going to find out, you know, what's going to happen. I mean, I know he's not dead. Like, I know that he's still alive and everything, but there's going to be a definite story that's going to be playing in this story arc. So, I mean, it's for adults, like I said. Very bloody, so
absolutely.
Definitely check it out for those adult readers if you've been reading The Crow, and see what you think.
So guys, that's it for this review. Don't forget to check out Comic Related, Comic Frontline, and Zone4Podcast.com. Together we are your #1 source for comic-related news, reviews, and a whole bunch more. Look forward to the Big 2 review tomorrow. both Marvel and DC. There was no morning stream this weekend because we had a ton of stuff. We just finished uploading, actually, maybe, what, 3-ish hours ago to maybe 4 to Comic Frontline. We had a bunch of stuff. So apologies for those of you that were seeing like video after video after video going up on Comic Frontline. I believe we had like 15 videos altogether. But we had to catch up from last weekend, I should say, all the way into this past week. And now we're going to be moving forward into the Xenoscope celebration, which we actually extended on Comic Frontline an extra week. So we're going to have even more stuff that we're going to be uploading little bits at a time and throughout the entire week. So look forward to all that. Look forward to the Big 2 review, and look forward to the live show this Tuesday. Look forward to a lot of things. Look forward to an announcement that's going to be coming on Comic
And
Frontline
also,
soon.
don't forget to comment this video because your comments will be heard this week on the Comic Book Haul.
The weekly comic book haul at the end of the week. Yep. So thank you guys so much for sticking around. Take care. Keep reading. Keep collecting. And we will see you guys really soon in the next review.
Later, everybody.